Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today I will be reviewing the app of Lidl Plus, which was released very recently, and at least here in Germany I would say that it exists since beginning of September. And for those of you who might not be so familiar with it, Lidl Plus is an app that you have on your phone, and it would be kind of a replacement of the classical physical loyalty cards for supermarkets that they still exist in many, but this would be just the equivalent, just in an app version. And honestly speaking, I find it great that there is this transitioning happening from physical cards to mobile apps, and I know that Lidl is not the only supermarket doing this, but in general I find it great. Not only it hopefully helps generate less waste because you don't have to produce the physical cards, but I just find it much more convenient. In the past, I'm not sure if it happens to you, but maybe you can relate. I always struggled, having to remember always, I need to take the loyalty card of the supermarket before I go shopping to get the discount and so on. But now with the phone, it's much more practical because the phone is something that you always take with you everywhere. So you can improvise. Maybe you are just going around the city and then, I want to buy something, and you can still use your loyalty card when going shopping because you just have it on your phone. But that said, let's go into the app and check it out. The first step you need to take is to download the app that you can find either on the Google Play Store or on the Apple Store. And in case you are worried about the space that it takes on your phone, it only occupies 52.31 megabytes of space, that if we compare it with many other apps that you probably use daily and you have on your phone, like WhatsApp that occupies 404 megabytes or Instagram that occupies 192 megabytes, this is certainly less. But it is not less than what it costs to give this video a like, which occupies absolutely no space, it's for free, and it helps me out a lot. By the way, I took this information from my phone, so I'm assuming that these apps occupy the same space for everyone, but I'm not an IT guy, so I'm not 100% sure of that. After you have the app on your phone, in order to register, you just have to follow a process that I would say that it takes maximum 5 minutes, which includes first introducing your name and last name, your email address, your date of birth, and then the gender and your home address are optional, but in the end you need to end up giving them your phone number. After you give them your phone number, they send you a message with a verification code that you just need to submit, and afterwards you're all set. And I would say that this is a pretty simple process. At this point, and looking at reviews that other people had left on the platform, I saw that some people were complaining about having to introduce the phone number, but I think that they do that in order to avoid people from creating multiple accounts and being able to use the €5 welcome discount that you get. I know that here I already advanced some topics, but essentially when you have to introduce your phone number, Lidl already blocks or assigns that phone number to a specific account. And you cannot create more accounts with the same phone number. It just doesn't work, and Lidl doesn't allow you to do that. And I think that's a clever way to avoid people from creating multiple accounts just to benefit from this €5 discount, because obviously I don't think that people will just buy more SIM cards for their phones just for €5 discount. But moving on, when we are finally inside the platform, we see that it is pretty easy to use. They have first a homepage button, which gives you kind of a general overview. Then we have the coupons part, which just tells you which coupons can be activated and how many days will they be active for or available for. Afterwards, they also have some leaflets, and finally they have the partners, which are essentially other shops other than Lidl, in which you also get discounts if you use the app. Also, I must add that once you make your first purchase, you get an additional tab there, which are receipts, and I find it very practical because you have all your receipts there digitally, which not only helps you in case you want to see how much you paid for each of the items, but also I would assume that in case you need to claim something back or return a product, then you can also do it just with the receipt that you have on your app, which is much easier to not lose than the paper ones they give you. And I know that the screenshots, some of them are in English and some in German, and that's because in order to be able to show you the app in English, I had to set my location in the United Kingdom, but I never purchased anything using the app there. So when I wanted to show you the receipts, I had to use really my app and that I have used it, because otherwise the receipts tab doesn't show up. And this is something that I must complain about, because I find it super stupid that when you set yourself to a country, it only allows you to use the app in the language, the official and main language of that country. So in the case of Germany, I can only use the app in German. And the same logic would apply if you were to use the app in Spain with Spanish or in the UK with English. But come on, did they not think about how many expats there are in many different countries, especially within Europe, that it's so easy to travel or to live in different countries? I mean, at least they could have thought of having the option to have always all the pages in English, no matter the country where you're at. Not that I have a problem myself with having the app in German, but I think that it would be much more convenient for people in general if they could just place the language of the app in whichever one is more convenient for them. And also, what about countries that have different official languages? Like for instance Spain, when I checked it, it's only available in Spanish. But in Spain there is also official language Catalan and Euskera, which, I mean, it's not a big deal because everyone speaks Spanish, but it just makes me wonder, how do they also apply it in other countries such as, I don't know, Switzerland or others? Anyways, leaving this topic aside and going back to the functioning of the app, it is, as I said, very simple to use. You have the coupons tab, you check which coupons there are, if you see one that is interesting, you just activate it, and then when you go to checkout, you just scan your QR code and the system automatically detects the coupon and applies it if this is the case. If none of the coupons is of your interest when you go shopping one day, I would still recommend that you scan your QR code of your card, not just because you have the receipt, but also it can help you save more money in the future. Because the thing is that after every purchase, you get a surprise or an additional coupon code that might or might not be of your interest, and on the top of that, when you reach certain levels of expenditures per month, you get access to more prices. I know that what I will show you now here in the screen will be in German, but essentially if you spend 30 euros, you have the choice to get one free drink. At 75 euros you can get a free ketchup, and this keeps going on the more you spend with more prices available. And going back now to the coupons thing, and actually something I already advanced before, is that when you first create your profile with the app, during the next 15 days you have a coupon that is of 5 euros of discount if you purchase 30 euros within any Lidl, and I think that this is super nice, and just for that I would download the app and use it, even if it was just for one time. Alright, so now that we have seen more or less what the app can do, let's go now into the downsides I see, and afterwards I will be giving my final opinion on it. The first bad point that I already mentioned before is that you can only use the app with the official language of the country that you use the app in, which I find it stupid and not very convenient. Secondly, it is true that, as we mentioned before, it is much more practical to have this app on your phone rather than a physical card, as you always have it with you. But what happens when you run out of battery on your phone? Well, I'm sorry to spoil you, but you cannot use it then. And talking about the phone, for me, that I am a Generation Z or Millennial or however it is that I am classified, it is very convenient because I always use my phone. But it might not be the same for somebody aged 75 or above, and not just talking about age range, but maybe somebody who just doesn't use the phone that often. And this therefore might impose barriers in the sense that not everyone can really benefit from this app. Finally, we also need to consider that although, as we said before, it doesn't use much space, it is another app on your phone, and as I always say, everything adds up. So concluding my review on the app, I must say that I'm not a very big fan of it and I'm a bit disappointed. Leaving aside the 5 euro welcome discount, which I really liked, during the past month and a half that I have been using the app, I have not found any coupon that was of my interest. Most of them were for branded items or items that I simply don't buy. So instead of saving, they are trying to push you to buy more expensive things. Hopefully in the future I will get some that will be of my interest, but for now, as I said, this is no added value for me. Overall though, I will still keep the app as it doesn't occupy much space. It only takes me about 30 seconds to check every time I go to Lidl if there are coupons that are interesting for me. And as I said before, I also really like the fact that I have all the receipts on the app and I don't have to keep the paper version, and I can always check how much I have paid for each of the items. Anyways, we'll have to see how the app evolves, because I'm 100% sure that there will be changes taking place in the next months or years, essentially because they just released it this past September, so I am sure that they will be trying out new things, see what works, what doesn't. But with that said, this is the end of the video. This was my opinion and my review on the Lidl app. By the way, if you're also using it or have been using it, I would love it if you could let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on it are. If you enjoyed the video, then please don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed, and as always, see you next time.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.